I'm the Dean of the Hale U.S. Bank College of Business, and my name is Becky Porterfield. And we're totally delighted that you're with us this evening. This is our last event, and so I'm really pleased to see our turnout. And of course, we have an exceptional speaker. And just a couple ways of announcements. First off, when you leave tonight, you're going to see a big pile of white T-shirts out there. Please take one, okay? We have plenty of T-shirts. In fact, if you need 2 or 3, it's probably okay. Right, Sally? I think we have plenty out there still. Take 10? Oh, my gosh, okay.
You can resell them.
I want to personally thank our sponsors for this event. I know a number of you, we have Chick-fil-A biscuits both yesterday and today. And I'm sure many of you had several of those, and if you didn't, I know our associate dean was trying to make you take 2 or 3 of them, and that was compliments as Chick-fil-A. CDK Global sponsored our pizza and a number of events on that in the college. Western and Southern Financial Group was a sponsor. Northwestern Mutual, Karate, if you had those snack bars, okay, they contributed those, and then Pepsi contributed the water. So we had some real good sponsorships in the business community, and we're certainly very grateful to them. It's my pleasure now to introduce a different person to you, and she happens to be my boss, so please treat her very well, okay? It's our provost, Sue Ott Rollins, and she's been here about close to 3 years now, okay, 2.5. She's a delight to work with. Her background is theater, so don't believe a word she tells you. No, I'm kidding. But she's here to give special greetings from our provost's office. Sue?
Hello, everyone. It's my great pleasure to take just a couple of minutes to welcome you to tonight's keynote address. I welcome you on behalf of the president, Jeffrey Mearns, who couldn't be here tonight, but would have been if he were in town, I think, or if he were able. And certainly on behalf of everyone here at NKU, we're glad you're here. Your success is the most important thing to us. We want you to have a wonderful experience here at NKU, get all prepared to go out and create a life that you want to live, make a difference in the lives of others. And so events like this that the faculty and staff and the student organizations here at Hale U.S. Bank College of Business, the events like this that they put together are intended to have a great impact on you. And I happen to know that tonight you're going to have the pleasure of hearing a woman who can't help but have an impact. I've met her only once before, but in the hour and a half I spent with her, I think she was one of the most dynamic people I have ever met. She is truly remarkable, and I'm not saying her name on purpose because that's your job, so I'll let you do that. But I hope you have a wonderful time. I'm sorry I can't stay. I have to slip out, but have a great time. Enjoy your time with Wendy Lee. I'm sorry. And, you know, I'm glad you've had a successful business week. Okay, welcome. Enjoy.
As many of you already know, one of the things we have in the college is a student advisory council. And that student advisory council consists of all the presidents of all our clubs. And their job is to represent you in terms of your concerns and ideas and other things. And we like to talk about it as a safe zone when we meet together because they can share anything with me, and we try really hard to make things work on your behalf. Several of the things that we've been doing, of course, is our new mentor program, which some of you listened to today, and we hope you sign up for that. I just came back trying to create some exceptionally good new international experiences for you in the next couple years. And of course, Business Week is one of those things that we are very intentional in our college, our faculty and staff, to make sure that you have exceptional educational opportunities, not only in the classroom, but outside the classroom. And so Business Week is a key part of that. So it's my pleasure then to introduce to you Samantha Pearson, who is going to introduce our speaker. And Samantha is the president of the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, and she certainly serves on our Student Advisory Council. Samantha?
Thank you, Dean Porterfield. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce our speaker tonight. Having delivered business solutions in 30 countries, Wendy brings a worldly point of view to digital innovation and a charming edge to her entrepreneurial pursuits. She's a harmonious blend of San Francisco's upstream edge, Boulder's down-to-earth vibe, and the Deep South's infectious charm. Her entrepreneurial success is evident through the acquisition of OnTarget in 1999 by Siebel Systems, Stratify's acquisition in 2007 by Iron Mountain, and Get Satisfaction's acquisition by Sprinkler. Wendy extends her leadership to two nonprofit boards, the Health Collaborative and Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. She also serves on the private venture-backed board of Zalim, a member of C200 and Cincinnati Women's Executive Forum. Currently, she is the CEO and serves on the board of Centrifuse, a public-private partnership that enables high-growth startups to prosper in Cincinnati. She's a warm, passionate leader who personifies good relationships make good business, while centering herself with a deep spiritual connection. In 2012 and 2013, she was recognized as a woman of influence in Silicon Valley and in San Francisco. So everyone, please help me welcome Miss Wendy Lee.
You pronounced every word correctly. Okay, can you guys hear me? Yes? Okay, cool. What fun. Thanks to everyone for coming back tonight to be with me. And can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. No? Okay. Okay, is this better? Oh, I might have to hold it like that. And he's coming to save the day. Woo-hoo! Yeah. Okay.
How's that sound?
That's, we got it, boy, we got it. There's always a solution, or almost always. Okay, let me put this thing back on. Okay, got it. Okay, that's better. At least I can hear myself now. I felt like I was like under a sheet or something. It's weird. So that was an awesome bio. I don't even know who wrote that, but it sounded good. I guess it's about me. Let me give you a little thumbnail, a little bit more color, because I think it'll give you some anchor points as I go through the talk tonight. So first of all, I have lived in 3 countries, 5 states. This is my 32nd address. I live in Mount Adams. I am a gypsy, or maybe not, but I know how to pack and move on. So if things don't work out, you just get your stuff and go. So that only talks about my personal experiences and my individual risk profile. Like I always wanted to try new things and be new places, and wasn't always sure exactly. They weren't career decisions, in other words. I mean, the moves were not about a new job or a new career or whatever. It's just like I wanted to experience that. So that is important for you to know about me, which is not to say that's how you are, but it's how I operated. The second thing is I'm from Mississippi, and I'm the oldest of 4 children. And my mom had me when she was 17, and all that means is she wasn't that organized or that prepared. And so at a very young age, I had to kind of get with it and learn how to help out in lots of ways. And that served me very well. The next thing I'll say is that I always wanted to be independent, which is different from being an entrepreneur. I mean, now I could say I always want to be an entrepreneur because that sounds cool. That is not the truth. The truth is I just wanted to be independent. I wanted to be able to take care of myself, have my own money, make my own decisions, and not ask for permission. So that's kind of interesting. And no one taught me that. I think that's just part of my DNA. So I want you to know those things about me, because then the rest of this will make more sense. Because this is not a blog post. This is not a book I've written. This is designed, this content was designed with you in mind, meaning you've been in 3 days of yakking and talking and inspiration, education. This is the last night, and what does all this stuff, business, mean? And so, I was trying to channel you a little bit, like being with the experience you've had, rather than pull a blog post up, which I guess I could have done that too. So the presentation has 2 parts. The first part is, my wisdom, best I could describe it that way, to you. And the second part is bringing you home to where you have things you have access to right here in your community. Like you could go back with me tonight, we could go to Over the Rhine, to Union Hall, and you'd meet lots of people like you. So I want to kind of do both, if that's okay. Make sense? And we're going to take plenty of questions, and I certainly hope that you have some. And all questions are good, I'm not afraid. Okay, a couple of things. I just love this whole notion of secret to success. It's just such baloney, really. It's so hard to codify at any given time in your life what success is going to mean. I mean, you want to, you want to say, well, this is what your mother said, or this is what your best friend said, or this is what the provost said, or this is what the dean said, or this is what my student advisor said, or whatever. But the truth of the matter is the 3 things, the 5 things, the 12 ways, even the key that you might get from our friend in Miami, DJ, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, who knows about any of that? I mean, it's a perspective, it's a point of view, but it's theirs. So I think a message I want to start off with is, this is, your formula has to be created by you. It's not something from a blog post, from my mind, from her mind, from anybody's mind. It's something you have to figure out and work on. So I'm going to go through that. I'm just going to give you some suggestions. Now, for me, I was born in 1954 in Oxford, Mississippi, and there are 3 things my grandmother, my mother, my dad, and everyone told me. First of all, you got to be smart, and that to them meant you got to make good grades. Okay, got it. Check. Make good grades equals smart. I'm thinking, okay, why not? Second thing is my mother, because she was a bit of a hippie, she goes, and a Buddhist in Mississippi, which is very unusual, and she goes, well, and you must be creative. Well, I never really wanted to be creative. I didn't think about colors. I didn't think about meditating. I didn't think about art. I really just thought about business. Business was my art. But I, because I loved my mom and I wanted to be cool, I wanted her to like me, I said, okay, you're saying be creative, and I'll try to do that. And my dad always said, you got to be hardworking. Get there early, stay late. So maybe none of this is said to you, but this was said to me a long time ago. And if you observed me to this day, because I'm going to talk a lot about you observing yourself, you would notice there are days I hit obstacles because I'm not being these things, because my mom said to, or my dad said to, or my grandmother, right? So I'm just saying, like, I'm ready to give that up. You say, well, you haven't yet? Aren't you your own girl at 62? You're kind of a late bloomer. Well, these things get embedded, right? And it's sometimes challenging to rearrange them. I'm suggesting that you create your own instead of others embed them in you, right? And then I'm saying, really what I'm into these days is just pure bravery. And I think one of your speakers even used that term as well. And so I'm going to play on this. And I'm kind of a word cloud girl because I'm very involved in social media. So I'm thinking, okay, what does that really mean, right? And these are all the words. I mean, I like gutsy. I like gritty. I'm from Mississippi, right? I'm not competitive. That sounds very organized and, compare and contrast. I'm not really competitive. I'm bold, right? I'm fearless. I'm kind of being a little self-absorbed here, but, I'm lion-hearted. Well, maybe, or maybe you're not. But I think finding a word, and for me, thinking about you, remember I was channeling you, I was thinking if I'm finishing my school or chapter of my school, what I want to be smart, what I want to be creative, what I want to be hardworking, that just kind of sounds boring to me because that's how I was. So I don't want to be me again. I'm saying, why not brave? Which is different than courageous, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. In my mind, it's different. Now, where does brave come from? Love these words. It's Old Spanish and Old Italian. Bravo. See, that's exciting. That's energizing. Smart, hardworking, creative. You know, I can see flowers. I can get my tasks done. I can be on time. But I don't know. I like bravo. I like being brave. And I like wild. I think wild is good, right? Like some days my hair is short. Sometimes I want it to be long. Sometimes I'll put it on top. Sometimes I'll look conservative. Sometimes I'll look very funky. I like that. I like people to not know for sure. That's just me, right? And I know that may fly in the face of some conservatism and traditional ways of thinking, but I like that. So I want you to try that on too. Because there's only one you, and he's sitting right there. He's not replicated around here. He's just right there. So I think the point here is, what's your word? What's your word cloud? Because you know how to do that. It's not hard. And what's the origin of that word? Because I think that can give you some hints as to why you're even thinking that's who you are right now, right? So you can see I'm a little weird, right? I'm not your standard chick. Okay, so let's go on. A little more comment about why I think bravery is different than courage. I've had, good, bad, or indifferent, some pretty nasty things happen to me. And you kind of do, that's life, right? Some bad things happen, you have to pick yourself up and get over it. When I was really at the bottom and really had bad things happen, bury a husband, bury a niece, bury a father, and these are tragic things. You know, people say, well, you have to be courageous. So it's always like courage came on the back of pain, or the back of something bad, right? Now, that was just in my mind. Maybe that's just how I interpret it. I don't think bravery's like that. Bravery is more outbound. It's more just because. It's something towards, where it seems like courageous is something where you're picking yourself up. Again, this is my interpretation. This is not Webster's, right? So you may completely disagree with that, and that's cool. We can talk about it later. I think, though, the number one thing that bravery helps me with, as a girl from Mississippi, you know, lower middle income family, paid her way through college, you know, no Smarty, no scholarships, right? Moving past my own perception of my smallness, right? That's my words for it, what bravery is. Because I never, even though I knew I had this potential, just like you know you have potential, there was some little voice or some little thing that would happen to me that would just cover me up a little bit, right? I allowed myself